Touchdown, Westerly!
A chance for the Chargers, and they score!
In the front, Fuzzy again!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Business Over Breakfast. It is a little bit different today. Let's go to a live look of downtown Westerly. Currently, okay, that is not actually a live look at downtown Westerly. To be fair, that is a cartoon. But it is snowing out. There's a parking ban, so we are doing this show. It's weird that this feels like old school now, but we are doing this show remotely. I am joined by the always incredible Maria DiMaggio. Hey, Maria.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fabulous. How are you?
I'm excellent. Do you like our background?
I love it. It's very picturesque.
Thank you. Let's go to an actual live look of downtown, though, right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because this is thanks to our friends at XE Media Design, and it is literally right a look outside of our studio. That little window you can see on the bottom left corner of your screen is where I usually sit. This camera is directly next to our studio, and the roads are looking pretty good. So shout out to the Public Works Department and everybody who works hard to make sure that the town roads are good. And the chocolate stroll tonight, just to get this out of the way, is on.
Yeah, it's rain or shine. It's happening, as far as I know. That's what's we've been saying. So
awesome. Let's go to a normal background. There we go. And let's bring on our guest for today, from Printing Plus, a member of the board of directors of the Chamber of Commerce, and just an all-around great guy.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, Colin, how are you?
I'm great. Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Maria. I think that's the most quiet I've ever seen downtown. That live shot.
Yeah.
It's usually very bustly for sure, but
yeah, it's something.
People are prepping for the impending snow here, so we got to be ready.
Well, I think the real snow's coming this weekend, so don't give up hope yet if you like to drive around in the snow like I do.
Very rarely people actually have breakfast on the show. I love seeing the Junk and Java Cup.
Yeah, our favorite. We love Java.
Yay.
I'm super jealous of you right now. So let's get into it. Tell us a little bit about Printing Plus.
Well, I don't know where to start. I guess I would start with when I started Printing Plus, and that was June 15th, 1991.
Wow.
So sometimes I think about that and I'm like, wow, it just seems like yesterday. But then I have to remind myself that, one, it was really sort of before Foxwoods. Two, there were cell phones, but they were the size of a tennis sneaker. and drugstores were named after the people that owned them.
Wow.
And so a lot of changes throughout the years. When I first opened the business, all of the equipment, including everything outside of my business, was all analog. It was pretty much the pre-digital age. So we made a lot of changes in the late 90s. We merged signs with the printing industry. And the funny story why we did that was, I don't know how many of you remember this, but there used to be a big free catalog at JCPenney's.
Yes.
When you walked out of JCPenney's, there was a shelf and you could just grab this catalog, which I think was 1,600 pages. It was thin, glossy paper and about 2 inches thick. And
I definitely remember that because
do you remember that, right?
Yeah, that's where I would circle what I'd like for Christmas for my parents.
Yeah, that's how we used to shop.
Yeah.
That was that we scrolled pages like this, but it was actually physically moving a sheet of paper.
Yeah, right.
So, so in the sort of like I'd say mid to late '90s, J.C. Penney announced big news because of this new wonderful thing everybody's learning about called the internet. We are going to stop printing the catalog. So all of the trade magazines and all of the big, the big think tanks that were in my industry said, okay, this is the death of the print shop. So I was a little nervous. I was in my 20s, and they they suggested maybe you can merge other parts of the industry, or maybe you could combine mailing or signs or engraving and all these different options to sort of broaden the options that you could receive. The options when you walk into a print shop. So we did merge. We started to do signs and we started to do wide format. And, I was pretty young and there were several other print shops in town at the time. And I think they sort of, many of them, or I guess all of them, didn't really want to jump into the digital world. They had already been in business for 20 or 30 years. And some of them just, one after another, I guess, really closed their doors. And, you know, we, uh, we ran through the fire for a bunch of years, and here we are, 34, almost 35 years later. Solid crew of 6 people. The sign business is very robust. The printing business is very robust, partly because there's less people in town doing it or willing to buy, the equipment. Maria knows, she's been through here a few years ago during COVID, and learned all about the equipment and what it costs to own this type of equipment. It's very, very expensive. Doesn't last that long. A digital press, our big one of our biggest pieces of equipment. We're just about to buy a new one. It's $120,000 and it
Wow.
lasts about 6 years.
That's it, because of the amount of use that.
The amount of use, software will be outdated. Maybe you have like if you buy a new digital press, essentially you have to have new computer equipment as well, because the drivers that operate the equipment, they'll only write new drivers for an equipment up to a certain point. So it's a little bit of like a cat and mouse. So, okay, you buy a new piece of equipment. Now we have to upgrade our whole computer system.
Right.
You upgrade your computer system, and then you buy a new, it works in both directions. So if the printer's too old or the computer's too old, you can have communication problems. So in
Right.
some cases, we bought pieces of equipment, and we had an old piece of equipment and we really needed to update our computer system, but we couldn't because our printer was too old. So we would have 2 big Macs side by side, one running one piece of equipment, one running another. Right now, it's sort of like everything's updated around the same time, so we're not struggling with like that with those those situations like we used to.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you guys are just and I love that you were able to adapt with the times, because, you know, what are you going to do? You have to, if the world is changing, you have to adapt to be able to continue your business, right?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, absolutely. I made this career choice in high school, by the way.
Oh,
At
wow.
Stonington High, my first year there, which was still 10, 11, 12. The ninth graders came with us. So my first year in high school, there was already a grade behind us. And that my first year there at Stonington High, they had a new course, graphic communications. And I says, well, sure, it's a shop class, if you will. So I signed up for that class and absolutely loved it. And for the next 3 years, I spent my lunch there. I spent study halls. As a matter of fact, even my last 2 years, I had a key to the back door.
Hey.
My teacher, Roger Roberdeau, he didn't, he was a woodworking teacher. So the high school just said, here you go. We're going to add this course and you can learn it at the same times. So my first week in this class, our teacher was scratching his head. We were all scratching our heads together, opening up manuals, reading about equipment, learning about dark rooms, learning about presses, and and then after a year after I graduated, I went to a trade school in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, for printing. Work that was a one year course. The instructor owned a big printing company in Providence, and the a week before graduating, he asked me if I would come work for his family business, which was really which was really an honor because he could pick from 30 students.
Yeah.
So it was sort of like, then I moved to Pawtucket, and I lived there for a year and a half or two, and I worked for the family business. His family business, became very close to him and his kids, and it was really sort of continued education,
Right.
and just becoming really close, to him, and
So then,
yeah.
and you decided to move back down to this area because you were from here. You
Yeah,
started.
so I became homesick, and I moved home, and I worked for Narragansett Graphics, which was on Marriott Street, which is a little dead end road right behind the Johnny Cake Center up on the hill.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And so it was Narragansett Graphics, which was, prior to that, was Manfredi Printing, which was a pretty big printing company when our parents were around in town here. They also owned, so the people that owned Narragansett Graphics also owned Narragansett Times. Like they owned two other newspapers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I worked there for a couple of years, and then the opportunity in '91 became available to purchase Printing Plus, which so it was already established when I bought it, but it was really just a little printing press, a small dark room, and a little copier.
But
And
in
that
that
was actually
time,
down the road. It
okay.
wasn't in this yeah. So I bought this building 11 years ago, but I started I started next door to Dick's World of Wines. Back then it was Easy Package Store, but where the cheese corner is on Main
Oh,
Street, that's where I was for like 22 years. And
Oh wow.
when I first moved in, when I first bought the business, I was like, wow, this is the best place ever. I'm 21 years old, so I'm next door to a package store, a drugstore, a sandwich shop, a barber. I'm like, and of course I had my bow tied up in back.
there you
So I was like, wow, it couldn't get any better than this.
go. Except now you have your own place, your own building.
And I'm still on the river, and this boat's still
That's it.
intact 34 years later.
There you
So
go. Yeah, you only moved down the road,
yeah,
not too far.
yeah. And
Um,
I always wanted this building, even when I first opened. And Pete Anthons, who bought this building from Joe Susi, he knew I wanted it. We talked about it throughout the years, and then situations in his life changed where he could move away, and his wife's dad passed away, and he was ready to move off the grid. So he called me, and then we managed to put a deal together for this building. And I don't know if you guys remember, but this building was a mess when I
Yeah,
bought it.
I remember it was a tire shop or a car shop before, right?
It was a tire shop, and all the windows out of the back, they're sort of original 1956 windows. They were all busted out. They had styrofoam over some of them. There were
Oh wow.
literally trees, and then this is no lie. There were literally trees growing up through the windows into the building. That I actually, right the day of the closing, that night I was in here with my chainsaw, cutting trees out of inside the building. No lie.
wow.
Yeah. And there
Wow.
was on the girders in the back room, there was a half-inch thick of brake dust, and it was a pretty extensive cleanup. And I did a lot of it
Sure.
myself, most of it
Sure.
myself.
Wow.
So,
So,
how did you get involved with the chamber? Because you've been a board member forever, and
well, so
you
that's a
know,
good question, because I guess that's sort of about 11 years, or 10 years ago, because I was 7 years. Maria will probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I was 7 years. And
I
then
feel like because
two,
I've been with the chamber for 11 years, so I feel like I thought you were there before me. So, but yeah, no,
well,
I
I
mean,
don't
I know
know.
you've been there my whole time. That's for sure.
I mean, time is definitely a phenomenon. So, uh, I think Lisa invited me onto the board a couple times, and the second or third time it was better timing for me with where I was with my life personally, the age of my children, the business sort of entered a little bit more into cruise control at the time, and it wasn't something I had to babysit all the time, and
Right.
they becoming the being on the board of directors has been actually really, really wonderful for me,
And
like
we love
personally.
having you.
Thank you,
And
thank
just
you.
and just to clarify, like throughout the time, it's like he hasn't, the way the terms work, it's you do a term and then you come off, you do a term, and then there's room for you to come back on. So, but Colin, yeah, I mean, since I started the chamber, I've always known Colin.
Yeah,
And he's always been involved with all of our events, but especially, the ones that pertain to the water.
yeah. I do mention that to people. I'm like, I think the chamber really wants to keep me on for the boating aspect, but some
No,
of
it's
our
not.
other
I'm
members,
not just that. Your
yeah.
personality, you're awesome. We love
Oh, well,
you.
thank you. And the Hauser family is actually very, boat savvy too. So between all of us,
Yeah, if we lost all of you guys, we'd be up the
duck
river,
race.
literally.
And Maria, we had one of the best nights ever on I think it was the river. Well, we've had
Yes,
several, but
River
one
Glow.
river glow night was actually a lot of fun. I think that's when I sliced my hand open.
That was when you sliced your. It was you, me, and your brother.
What
Oh yeah,
happened?
right.
Yeah, we were that for that year because usually Rudy helps. Rudy 3 usually helps with River Glow, but I think he was away at college during
Yeah.
that time. So Colin's like, we got this. I'm like, yes, we got this. And he brought his brother along until Colin cut his hand. And I was like, you need to go to the hospital. We need to get you some. And he's like, nah. And he just sticks it into the Pawcatuck River. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like,
Yeah, yeah.
fine.
Well, all that, all the dye that's still running down the river, like sealed that cut up right away. And honestly, I think it looked worse
It
than it
probably
really
did look
was.
worse. It was
Yeah.
just, when you cut your hand, it does bleed pretty readily, pretty profusely. But I was like, oh my gosh. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I yeah,
The Donahues are pretty tough that way.
I I applaud you for that because I accidentally put my hand through a window a couple days ago,
Oh,
and yesterday, a couple days ago, I don't remember.
why were
But
you upset?
I
Did
was
you
I was a wimp about it for sure.
open it?
Yeah,
yeah.
it was like an inch. It looked bad because it cut my wrist, so it was very bad. But so yeah, I applaud you for that story,
Well, I think
Colin.
the truth is men are definitely weaker when it comes to injuries. I have friends that are nurses. My mom was a nurse.
Wow.
My from the mother of my children's a nurse still, and they all say the same thing. You put the same injury on a girl or a boy, and the boys are, oh, this is so awful. I can't believe it. So
I don't know. You handled it pretty well. I was I was pretty freaked out for you. I guess
yeah.
not even more so for the injury that you chose to stick it into the water, and I'm like, you're gonna get infected, dude. Like something,
The only reason I dipped it in the water is there was no dirt.
right?
Because dirt will
Or
seal up a cut
ash. Well,
quicker
no,
than
the
anything. We
tires
were
are
on the river,
yeah.
and it was either that, lighter fluid, or tree bark, and I went with the water.
So
I mean, listen,
So this is all about my business and how I handle a cut.
that's it. Well, this is full scope. Our show here is full scope. Whatever you want to
absolutely.
know about, learn about,
Yeah.
we got it. Yes.
Do you have a is River Glow your favorite event of the year?
I actually like the duck race more than the River Glow is a lot of fun. It's
Yeah.
also a lot of dirty, gritty work. And it starts early, ends late. I mean, I love it. I'm always a little like I always have this little fear in the background about, and I hope it's okay to say, but I'm always worried a little bit about the safety, of like, floating fires, and the system that we came up with, I think is very good, but it's still like, I'm in the boating world. So I'm very cautious when it comes to things floating away. I also worry a lot about weather.
That's why you're here. By the way, you're here. Like, you worrying about that safety issue is one of the reasons why it continues to be safe.
Right.
Well,
So thank you for that.
I appreciate that. And as we set anchor on each one of those traps, Rudy and I, or whoever's with us, we do like inspect every, we quick look at the links, give the anchor a little tug, make sure everything's good. And I think it's fine, and it's a great event. But it's also, I was like, there's the weather, is it gonna rain? We all love Lisa. We want to do everything that she says, and she wants big beautiful fires, and so do we. But if it's damp out, or humidity's high, or the wood sat on the trailer all night and it rained the night before, all these different factors make us go, geez, we really got to pull this off. So,
Right.
and I think
Well,
we have some of the similar challenges with the duck race.
but that happens
the,
regardless, right? That's
the
rain or
duck race
shine.
has a the duck race has a lot of moving parts.
It
I
does.
love the I love all the technical part of like the duck race, where we have to like sort of factor in the strength of the current, and when we have a lot of volunteers, and then like sort of the challenging part at the end, pulling all the ducks out. I think it's during the day, and you can see all the smiles, you can see everybody waving. I don't Cats
Yeah.
coming up to say hello.
Kids are
Um,
cute. Kids are cute.
so I think it's there's prize money. We hope that some of our colleagues or friends win something, and there's so many prizes. You almost always know a winner.
Yeah. Yep.
You always know somebody that gets a $50 gift card to a restaurant or something. So I think so. I like that apart. I like fusion. I think fusion's a lot of fun. It's something sort of to do when it's not quite summer and it's not quite winter. It's like inside. Of course, Maria knows I love to dance. So,
Yep.
I
We dance at
I work,
Fusion.
I dance, I work, I dance. I'll probably like they're probably like, we're not sure if we should have Colin volunteer or just enjoy the night.
We let you do half and half.
We let me do half and half. Well, I love that. I love the energy for people coming in the door. I love like the checking the tickets, and that whole part of it's really fun and exciting. And
People are excited
my
when they're coming in. Yeah.
daughter was painted last year,
Yep.
and she really enjoyed it, and it was sort of fun doing that with her. This is a little bit more because I don't know if I mentioned this, but Olivia's, she's basically heirs to the kingdom here, and someday this will all be hers. And
Yep.
as her and I start to do events together, it's a nice segue for me and her. And I started this business so long ago. I don't want to just like, at some point I got to retire,
Right.
but I don't want to just, cut ties and walk away. And that's what would happen if I sold it to a franchise. Franchise companies reach out to us quite often.
Oh, do they?
Uh, they do. And, I would probably potentially a little, I'd probably make out better financially a little bit, but then when you sell to a franchise, that's it. You can't even talk about your business anymore.
Oh, wow.
The no compete clause for some of my, I don't even need to mention them because they are who they are, but the no compete clause is like, it's 300 pages.
Oh,
You
wow.
don't, because they consider like, so if I sold to a sign company or to a nationwide printing company, if you talk about printing once you sell the business, it's called consulting.
Okay.
And then what happens when people start doing consulting, even if it happens organically, then you start becoming a broker and you start finding people to do the work. And so they want to avoid that. So that would be like a really sort of a harsh ending for me, starting from scratch. So, working with my daughter, and then, sharing this time together is really it's just it's a
And the
great
legacy gets to
gradual.
live on. It gets to live on through her, and she can continue the work. And guess what? I'm sure you want to retire, but I'm sure you're going to get some days where you'll be a little bored, and you'll be like, "Come on in. I'm coming in. Give me something to do."
Yeah, I'll probably never retire, but
Yeah,
I at
exactly.
some point I'll be the person in back, and when something goes wrong out in front, I'll be like, I don't know, you better figure it out. But
Or you got to talk to
but
Olivia. I'm not in charge.
Listen, the guy
Olivia's
that
got
cuts his
the
hand and sticks it into the water is not retiring.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that's it.
You know,
That's it. Yeah, just get the electrical tape out and seal it up and keep going.
That's
But
it.
Olivia, just back on her for a minute. She has. It's not that I'm not enthusiastic. I love my job. I've fortunately, in almost 35 years, I never once did I drive to work going, oh, I got to go to work.
That's
Never
amazing.
once. So I feel very, very fortunate about that because I know that's not true for everyone. But when I watch my daughter sort of like doing the work here or doing the quoting or talking with customers, it just reminds me of when I was 21 or 22 and just had that sort of that enthusiasm and patience, maybe patience. Not that I'm not impatient, but at this point, it's like, somebody sort of starts to give you a hard time. It's like, wait, I'm probably not your guy. We like to be happy all the time. We love what we do here. If you're gonna take the love away, you might want to find another place.
That's it.
We don't really do that, but it's always sort of in the back of my mind that I could at this point.
Right.
So,
Right. And you have such a great team there too. Like
thank you. I feel
all
very
the gals are
fortunate.
great.
Yeah, girl power. Yeah,
Hey.
yeah, that's right. I'm the only rooster in the hen house here, and
Especially
that
the
happened. By
Bowie.
the way, that just happened again, like pretty organically. It was. It's not that it was purposeful, but I got it. And Maria knows this. I had the same crew here for many, many years, and they're basically besides the bookkeeper, it was all men. I got to tell you, like, this we're not going into like the boy girl comparison here, but I do want to mention, I do want to, one of my biggest observations between having all girls and all guys is, for instance, a piece of equipment breaks, and equipment even brand new in this industry, it breaks, things go wrong, you have to sort of figure it out. You don't want to have to call for service because sometimes it takes a day.
Right.
So what used to happen is a piece of equipment would break and the guys would all gather around and we pull out the manuals and then everybody would search and everybody, you'd find the problem, but somebody has to walk away on the big white horse and be victorious. When the girls all gather around a piece of equipment and figure it out, they all high five and they all fixed it. And nobody has to take the
Oh, I love
credit. So and I don't know if that's sort of like bred into males and females, or if it happens to be my particular crew, but I kind of think it's sort of built in to males and females because there's 5 girls here.
I
So
love
that sort of takes the odds away that it's just 2 or 3 that are like working really well together because they're my crew. They all come from very, very different backgrounds, by the way, and I think Maria knows this. They all work together, but when they leave here, they are all very different people.
I love it.
Yeah.
Come
So
together for the good, and then and that's great that they can all work together. I was mentioning before, the buoy that you had on this year's tree was a painting, obviously, of
yeah,
you in the middle with the ladies all around you, which was awesome. You and your
yeah.
crew.
Thank
that's
you.
awesome.
And in Cali, one of the and she's sort of our floater in here, does graphic design, and she runs equipment, runs the cutter, binds books, all that kind of stuff. She painted it, so she's
I love
very
that.
she's very talented.
Yeah,
So
she is. They were
yeah,
very much in your likeness. It was
yeah,
awesome.
almost to a fault. I'm kind of like, ooh, like just like, can you put like a little yellow back in? Because
Um,
I love that.
that's awesome. So what are you, what like other than the events, what has been the most rewarding part about being a part of the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce and serving on the board of directors for 2 terms and whatnot?
That's easy, Ben. You know, because my business is wasn't easy, but it's it's been successful. And at some point, when you've had a business for a long time, and you start to recognize the success, or you start to recognize the respect that you get when you walk, when you walk through town, because it wasn't easy in 1991 because I'm Irish, not Italian. But I think that the most rewarding part of the chamber is knowing that you're giving back to the community who put you where you are, whether collectively, other businesses, other people. It's just I call it it's a small town. I say the small town is really, it's from whatever, pick it, Charleston to Mystic, and Mystic to, say, maybe Richmond. I consider that the town, not there's I don't differentiate between Pawcatuck and Westerly, because we get equal amount of businesses on both sides of the river. So, for me, being part of these events, and I mentioned this to Maria like a few years ago, like when you're sort of doing your whatever it is, the River Glow or the Duck Race or any of these events, and then you sort of look up and you see a lot of like familiar faces and all this, and they're having like a great time, and that just a small handful of people made all that happen. You're like, okay, you know what? This is my thank you, if you will, for making my life as good as it was, and I have the time and the resources to give back. So it's really rewarding. I
That's
tell people
awesome.
that all the time. So
We're so happy to have you part of our team here in our community, Colin. Like you
we're
are
happy to
just
have you too.
one of the best. Always
Thank you.
positive, always bright. Like just and then of course for like certain, because we use our chamber members obviously, so we have a lot of things that we make and print through you folks, and you guys are always on top of it. The gals are on top of it, like
The
easy to
brand
work.
new the brand
Working
new
the chamber
van.
is, it's not
Yeah,
only important to me personally either. The chamber is also like an outstanding client. We do a lot of work for you. You really,
our
you
gift certificates,
rank
our
us.
vans, our chamber
Yeah.
champion sign, like
Yeah. I mean,
guys.
we're working on something for you now. We're almost always working on something for you. And then, along comes an event, and there's always a little thing that goes in there. And that's why I like, of course, I also love I love the lobster pot tree, and
Yep, you helped us with
we
that
do
before
like
too.
did a
Yeah.
bunch of signs and everything for that. I mean, like a bunch of legitimate work. So for me, spending a night down there in the cold, first off, I love it, and
You are awesome. You're awesome at it
I
too.
love working with the people. It's so much fun. But then at the same time, it's like, yeah, you know what? The chamber deserves this from me too. So if that
Thank
makes
you.
sense. Of course.
We appreciate that so much. And yes, I can't believe we almost forgot, but yeah, you are always at the lobster trap tree too, helping, taking pictures. I mean, I'm sure you've witnessed a engagement there, haven't you?
Well, two. So I
See?
had one. I had one this year, and I don't know. I thought I had the first one the first year, but it might have been the second.
Listen,
But I'm
I'm
not
usually
sure.
there every year. I barely missed. I barely saw one because the guy threw me his phone and like and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared for it at all. And so I'm like, I yelled for Lisa to come over. I was like, get Lisa. So as I'm trying to open his phone, because it's locked and I'm trying to figure it out. And then another one, I was inside the tree. So the two that I saw this year, I didn't even get a good view of it. I was inside the tree, and I think it was Alex, Lisa's daughter, was outside taking the
Yeah.
pictures. And I'm like, what am I missing? Oh my gosh. But no, it's always fun. And I always hear that you do such a great job and take such good care
Thank
of
you.
the people who come and take the picture, that want their pictures taken. And
Thank you. So this year's engagement, Lisa and I were working together. She was inside, I was outside, and it was fun because then, of course, Lisa has her like total protocol. Okay, come on over, names and everything like that. The
names
first
relocated.
year,
Yep.
yeah, the first year, and it was a busy night. but the, gentleman came up and he like whispered in my ears. He goes, "I want you to take a lot of pictures." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm taking a lot of
You're
pictures
like,
of
I
everyone."
am.
And then, like as soon as I go in there and I'm ready, and it's like down on one knee, and he was perfectly centered and there and on one knee, and like there was probably, I don't know, call it 80 people, because the line went right to the road and hooked around, and everybody started screaming. So
Oh,
I think it was magical for the couple,
yeah.
to have like this big crowd. So yeah, now I think it's we're starting a trend. I think that the trend has already happened.
Yeah.
So I wonder how many people are like shopping right now and going to hold that ring
Until just,
until the
yeah.
tree's back up.
Honey, I have somewhere awesome to take you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I don't want to go there. It's cold.
I think I think after the first time that I ever did an interview with Maria about the lobster trap tree well over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago even, um, my girlfriend refuses to go together now to the lobster trap tree.
Yeah.
She's like, no, 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 I'll go without you. So
Well,
Yeah.
Patrick always jokes to you that you should that you are getting engaged every
at
impending
the yeah,
season. Yeah.
yep. Um,
We won't push it on you, Ben, okay?
hey, thanks. And also, I'm home today for this recording, so she's in earshot right now.
Oh.
Um,
I didn't
so,
say
what do we got going on? Obviously, for events right now, what do we have going on this week, Maria?
Yeah, we have a lot. Or this month even.
Yes.
Let me just pull up my list because my phone shut off. So
Yeah, we got
apologies.
ribbon cuttings.
So yeah, last night we actually had a ribbon cutting at Zen Zone, which is in downtown Westerly. So if you folks know where Chillingham's is, or where Chris DePaolo's old studio used to be, down around back, they're right in in that building, but right next to his old studio. And it's like, I always remembered that part of the building being like closed or whatever, but it's beautiful. They did a great job. And so
it's
they have
under Perks and Quirks.
Yes, exactly. So around back.
Yeah.
And if you go and watch our Facebook Live, you'll see what the services that they offer are. But they gave us, while we were doing the live, a gong bath, if your sound gong bath. And it was just like magical. Like, you don't know how it's going to affect you. And I'm like, okay, it's whatever, it's sound, whatever, because I've never experienced it myself. And just standing there recording, I could feel like the goosebumps just from the sounds. And it was so sweet because it was husband and wife, and Monica had her baby, and they were just like, it was just lovely. And so, yeah, if you need to relax, or you just want to zone out, or you want some sort of healing, they have all the various services they offer. They also have this sound lounge where you lay down on this bed and put headphones on, and you can get whatever type of music that you want, or sounds that you want to help heal a particular thing that you have going on, or even just to calm, to heal, to relax, whichever. But
tones and taps.
Yeah.
Monica has offered for me to go down and film some stuff and experience that. I'm so messed up with anxiety that I'm anxious about going to get some Zen. Like, I need it.
Listen, I'm going to say to you what Aaron Marqueta said to me last night. He goes, of the people in you are one of the people in Westerly who needs this the most. I'm like, are you saying I'm stressed out? He's like, yep.
Yep. Yep.
So then we'll go together.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, cool. We'll keep each other in check. So that was last night. It was a great turnout, and please check them out, Zen Zone. We have a ribbon cutting coming up on Monday. Oh, I'm sorry. We're skipping over. Tonight, of course, is our chocolate stroll, which we did quickly mention at the beginning of the program. It is still happening, rain or shine.
Is it sold out?
Sold out.
Okay.
Actually, sold out, or there's 1 or 2 tickets left. I'm not, as of last.
Call the office.
Call Grace at the office. She'll let you know. I mean, if the link is still somewhere, you could check the link to see if you can get a ticket or two. But like I said, we are practically sold out. There's either 1 or 2 or 0 left. So that's tonight from 6 to 9, and you'll go get, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, you'll just go to Will Call, which will be at Amigos. You get your ticket and go around downtown. And the pro tip, which we've been telling everybody since the beginning of the chocolate stroll, is bring a little goodie bag, because if you can't eat everything, you can take it with you. So obviously you can't take the cocktails with you. You'll have to drink those there. Such a task to do that, right? But no, drink your cocktails and take your little goodies and go around, and it'll be a great time. And maybe the snow will make it a little more magical.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
So then Monday we have a ribbon cutting at Gansett Wraps. So Gansett Wraps has been a member for a long time. However, they moved their location to Beach Street, to 55 Beach Street, right next to our friends at Bar Coast. And so they just wanted to kind of announce that and to have everybody see where they are if they haven't realized that they moved. So come join us at 5:15 on Monday, and we'll do a nice little ribbon cutting for them. Then on Wednesday, February 12th, from 5 to 7, it's our our business after hours at the YMCA. You can register now. Walk-ins are always welcome. It's $5 for members, $10 for non-members. And it's a great way to network with the community and other business leaders and to learn about the YMCA. So that's the point, right? So whomever is the host, it's a way for them to display their business and to get information out about or to showcase something. And I know that the Y wanted to, especially for this business after hours, is to focus on paddleball, which is a really big these days. And so I'm sure they'll talk about that. And then of course they have their new executive director there. So they'll be saying a few words as well.
What is paddleball?
It's like a merging of tennis and not paddleball, pickleball.
Okay.
Pickleball.
I know what pickleball is. Continue.
For goodness sake. Sorry. Thank you. Pickleball, not paddleball. That's my own new invention, apparently. I don't know. So we have a busy week. So we have Monday with a ribbon cutting, Wednesday with the business after hours. Thursday, we have another ribbon cutting at the Junction, which is a brand new spot right on Railroad Ave. It's that little, the little building that used to be the pinball bar. It's now, and then it was Bar Amelia, and now it's the Junction. And our friend Isaiah is the owner there, and come out and check it out. See what
Incredible
they have going on.
reviews for their opening weekend, by the way.
Yeah, they did. Yes, exactly. And they'll have great food, great drink. I know Lisa went and got some food there before she headed out on vacation. I haven't had a chance to talk to her about it, but I'm sure it was great. And we're super excited to welcome them to the community and show them support. And then on Saturday, February 22nd, we're having a joint ribbon cutting at Playwell, which is also on High Street in downtown Westerly, with our friends over at Mystic Chamber. And they're going to be unveiling their mini Main Street setup that they have, which is really cute. And businesses, if they want, they can sponsor one of the little buildings to kind of get their business name out there. But it's a way for children to play and pretend and have basically a little mini Westerly in their play area, which is really cute. So that'll be the 22nd at 9 a.m. because it's on a Saturday. I'm sorry, it's from 9 to 10, but the ribbon cutting will be at 9:30. So that if you can't get there right for 9, at least you know the ribbon cutting's happening at 9:30.
That's awesome.
So that's for right now, February, but things keep happening. So
Well, that's a lot.
next
of
week
stuff
we
going
might
on
have
this
some more
month.
stuff happen. What'd you say, Colin?
I said that's a lot going on this month.
It is a lot.
For the shortest, dreariest month,
Yeah.
I mean, that's great.
We got to pack it in.
Especially when we got all this going on
Oh,
downtown.
wow. Now look, there is
Well,
snow.
it's a little different now.
Yep.
Some snow on the road.
Holy cow. Actually, I do want to
Absolutely.
make one more plug, Ben, if that's okay.
Yeah, you can make as many plugs as you want. That's why we're
Awesome,
here.
thank you. So we're currently working on our 2 publications, our Ocean Community Travel Guide and our Ocean Community Chamber Directory. So for our travel guide, that's the publication that'll go out to, to all the different hotels or rental areas, rental houses here in town. We bring it to the Big E Festival, to the different tourist stops on 95. It just goes everywhere. It's the publication that shows why this ocean community area is so great and why you should come and visit, vacation, stay, whatever. So that's currently in the works. If you have any photos of the areas that we cover, Westerly, Misquamicut, Watch Hill, Stonington Borough, Mystic, Charlestown, Richmond, Hopkinton, any great scenery photos. The ones that we can't use are like posed photos of you and your family on the beach. That we need it to be more touristy looking, or of areas like, for example, let's say you're in Wood River somewhere and you're on the river and you're paddle boarding. Great. And there's like, you should see the scenery. Fabulous. We need photos like that, or somewhere in Mystic, you guys are shot, you take a big wide screen or wide shot of the bridge, or Old Mystic Village. Those are the kind of shots we're looking for, because we need them for the magazine. So just if you have anything, or you're an amateur photographer or a professional photographer, if you could email them to info@oceanchamber.org. Now we're also working, and we're doing that publication with our chamber member, The Day, out of New London. We do our chamber directory with our friends and chamber member at the Westerly Sun/Sun Media Group. And this publication is going to be special because it's our 100th anniversary this year. And so it's also going to be we're going to have historic articles about our history in it too. So it's a really special publication. It's going to be a little thicker. It's going to be perfect bound. And so I know Alex Walker, who is one of the salespeople over at Sun Media and one of my friends. He is going to be doing sales for ads in that magazine. So keep your eyes out open for that. And if you are a chamber member, make sure that you've logged in and your information on your account is accurate, because that's what we pull for those publications. And if you're watching and you're not a chamber member and you'd like to be included in those publications, please let me know, because they both have a great reach. The travel guide has they print 40,000 copies and has an excellent reach, obviously. And then the Sun prints like 5,000 or 6,000. It gets distributed to every single one of their readership. And then also we mail it out to all of our members. And then we have many copies at the office to hand out to people. But because this year is going to be, if you guys remember the magazine that we put together for the 350th anniversary, it's going to be like that. It's going to be a keepsake piece for the Chamber's 100th. So there's a lot of great opportunity for advertising in both of those. So if you have any questions, just let me know and I can put you in the right contact with whomever. But most importantly is, if you are a member, just make sure your information is accurate, because I'm going to pull whatever's on there. So,
and like I said, we at 321, we went in and updated our information. It took 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. And there was a bunch of stuff in there that needed to be updated, because we change stuff all the time as a business.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You know what I mean? So if you haven't done it in 2 years or something, a lot could change.
Yeah.
A lot could change about your business. So,
or if you don't want to figure it out, then just at least send me an email at info@oceanchamber.org saying, hey, do you mind updating this? Do you mind? Absolutely not. Happy to do it for you, as long as we have the accurate information. That's our goal here, to make sure we advertise you properly. So
absolutely. Love it.
Awesome.
Colin, anything going on at Printing Plus that you want to advertise right now?
No, well, this time of year for us is a little slower than usual. So, compared to the rest of the year. So, no, I mean, we're still very busy with signs. I don't think we really ever get caught up in the sign part of the business, but the printing, if anybody kind of honestly, if there's something that you think that you would do, a big printing job that you would do in the summer or when we're really busy, we probably could offer a little bit of a discount for doing something now and over the next, 2 or 3 weeks. Then we reach what we call like sort of our magical 4 months, where our graph just goes straight up, and we work long hours, weekends, and And that's good. I mean, I sort of wish my busy time wasn't also the summer when I want to go
Right.
out and play
Of course.
in the sandbox, but it's okay. We tend to get caught up a little bit, sort of like it's somewhere in mid-July. So no, we're not.
You also have a team for that, Colin. You have a team
I
where you can
know.
take a day or two to go enjoy the
There you
beach
I
go.
have.
or
Well,
your
I
boat.
mentioned to you a couple of days ago that I've sort of traveled a little bit more,
Mhm.
and I actually, I was away from the shop for I don't know about 12 days.
Wow.
I went on a cruise with 20 other people, which was a lot of fun.
That's
And then
awesome.
I left a couple days early to go on a cruise and spend some time with a friend in Florida. And then on the other side of the cruise, I spent a day or two or a day and a half. So it's actually officially the longest I've ever been away from my business.
Wow. Congratulations.
So I am
That's
taking
huge.
advantage of like this amazing crew that I have. But at the same time, I don't even like to be away that long. I like, it's just my third child, if you will, a little bit, or maybe my fourth, because I think my third is actually Lisa's daughter.
Oh, which I don't know if you saw, but Maddie did make a comment earlier.
She did.
She sent
Oh
you some
yeah,
hearts.
and
Yep.
she's
See,
coming
look at.
closer to home. She's gonna be she's there. She is. And she's moving back to New England, so we're excited about that. And I know my daughters are too, because they're like the best friends. So
That's awesome.
So nice.
yeah.
And,
So
So
nice.
yeah, so the Printing Plus is my fourth child, so I can only go so long without having my
12 days
father.
away is a lot. I mean,
It is.
Yeah.
I, um, Jackie and I we went away for a couple days, last April. And, I was like, I made a promise that I wasn't going to do anything work related while I was away. And then she took a nap. And when she woke up, she was like, "Are you watching the Westerly high school baseball game on the TV right now in the Airbnb and like texting notes to the?" I was like, "Yeah, I can't. I couldn't
Yeah.
stop myself." So I get it. 12 days, man. You should commend yourself for that. Jeffrey
I
says
appreciate
morning
that.
iced cup of coffee. Hey,
Yeah.
Jeff. By the way, happy birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, Jeffrey.
Happy birthday,
Oh,
Jeffrey.
hey Jeff, happy birthday, buddy.
I mean,
Um,
I think he's literally the biggest Junk and Java fan that I know. Like,
Well, he has a drink name after him, so
I mean,
it's good. The Jeff, I think so.
listen,
And
if
there's
I
another
could
guy, by the way,
inject
that really puts in a lot of effort, helps out the chamber. And, I
yep.
know Beth's been on the board for a long time, but what a wonderful package deal.
We
You know,
totally got the package deal with them for
total
sure.
package deal. And, even with the duck race, I know he camps on some, he's missed one or two, but he's there getting dirty, pulling, hauling.
Everything.
He knows a lot about, what worked and didn't work from previous years. So he's a real asset and just a really nice guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I have to say, we don't have any. Oh, you're welcome, Jeff. Look at, thank you. So cute. No, we have, our board is made up of all just really nice people. Like we've lucked out. We really have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking around last week at the board meeting and I was like, yeah, I think I'm the worst person here.
No,
No,
stop it.
no,
Stop it. Nope.
no. You definitely
it's
need
weird.
to go
It's
to
a weird
Zen
vibe.
Zone.
Yeah.
It's a weird vibe doing this remotely. I'm like, I'm more jokey, I guess.
It's good.
But it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. Again, looking at the weather, just because tonight is the chocolate stroll and it is rain or shine.
And I just, it's
but-
snowing.
And it is snowing right now, but just FYI for everybody, it is supposed to by 11 a.m., according to the weather app. By 11 a.m., it's supposed to turn to rain, and then it's going to rain till about 3, and then it looks fine.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So any snow that's on the road right now is going to be washed away, hopefully by the rain for several hours, and then it's going to be a beautiful night for the chocolate stroll.
And the temperature stays above freezing,
Yeah.
because I think that's when it turns to rain, as long as it doesn't drop to 25 degrees, I think
No,
we're good.
it looks
Right?
like it's like 38, 39. And
Oh,
that,
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. It's high 30s.
I mean,
Yeah.
at 11 o'clock at 11 p.m. it says it's going to be 40 degrees. So
Yeah,
like,
which is basically summer now.
basically.
In
That's right.
February, 40 degrees is like,
And
where's my flip flops?
that's perfect for chocolate too, because it's not going to melt.
Exactly.
There you go. There you
Good
go.
chocolate temperature.
Yes.
Exactly.
So come to the chocolate stroll. It'll be it should be fine. And it'll be a lot of fun, and there's a lot of great businesses that are participating. And
Or if for some reason you can't go, and you call the chamber and let us know, so because we might have some people who are looking for tickets. But
Yeah.
and for anybody who is looking for tickets, do not interact or talk with anybody who's posting a comment, because a lot of them are bots and or scammers. So no, they don't have tickets. If you give them your money, that's not through us. So unless it's us officially selling you those tickets, I would say just don't, or be very cautious. Make sure you know
just
who that
call
person
the
is.
chamber.
Yeah.
And if you are somebody who is earnestly not able to go and looking to sell your tickets, don't do it on Facebook. Call the chamber and let them know you're not going to be able to come.
We'll try to help.
Again,
We'll try.
like Maria said, there's probably people that are looking for tickets that you could be matched up with. So
Wow,
call the chamber.
we're scalping chocolate tickets now.
It's honestly, it's anything, because these scammers, they'll see something and they spoof our events. They'll make their own event that looks like ours, but some information's off, and then we'll get questions and calls and say, we saw. I'm like, but it's not what we posted. Unless it says it's created by the chamber, it's not our event.
I'm just going to go downtown. I'm going to go downtown tonight and scam chocolate bars. Like, I'm just going to get like a whole bunch of Hershey's chocolates and just be like I'll have a big coat on and be like, you guys want some of the stuff?
You're gonna have a hard time next week, because Rudy's coming on next week with me. So I wouldn't do that, Ben.
I said Hauser. I didn't say Hershey. I said Hauser.
Oh, I thought you said Hershey. I heard Hershey.
No, I said Hershey. Just don't tell me.
I don't even think Hershey's chocolate's really chocolate.
Not anymore, no. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you can't sell it in other countries, so
It's something. The first time, I remember the first time that I had a Hauser chocolate, the same way that you remember the first time you had a Wonka bar in the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It literally was like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be.
Right.
Nice.
Right.
So,
This is what chocolate is. Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Shout out Hauser.
That's it.
totally.
So anyway, thank you guys so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
And,
Thanks,
you, Colin. We're so happy
Maria.
that you're on board, and thanks for being on this morning with us.
Absolutely. It was actually
Colin.
a perfect day. There's been no traffic in here, so I'm sitting out in the front lobby of my shop and just looking out, and it's actually the snow event worked out well for me.
Colin, people keep telling me I need a banner for to put in front of the tables and stuff.
Sure.
For that stuff. So I'll be calling you soon.
Yeah, it sounds great. Banners are the most economical form of signage. They last. You roll them up when you're done, and use them back. You use them again when you need them again. And I think we're working on one for you right now, Maria. Right? We're doing your
our
new
Chamber Champion
retractable. We got some new names or some new sponsors
Yeah,
and level changes.
One of them was Dale, who just posted a really nice comment for you. Dale, one of our board members.
Dale, yep. Shoreline, excellent. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Great businessman right there for sure.
Yep. We're so
the first guest on this version of
with Lisa. That's right.
Yeah.
Was who?
It was Dale.
It was Dale.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
He broke the ice for the rest of us?
Yeah.
He did, yeah. Yes, so that's fantastic. And Colin, I've done a ton of between like the churches and Mesquamaket and a whole bunch of other stuff. I feel like I'm always either making stuff that gets sent to Printing Plus, or I'm using stuff that was created by Printing Plus, and I constantly get asked, did you make this, or did Colin's team make this? And because they're going back to try to find additional stuff. So you are, for the last 34, almost 35 years, such a staple in this community. And
thank you
for all of the work that you do for our community, and as a member of the board of directors for quite a long time, and a volunteer, and all of these things that couldn't happen without you. So thank you so much, Colin.
Well, thank you.
for
Those
being
are
here.
very kind words, and I appreciate it. Thank
Absolutely,
you
and
very
thank you
much.
for weathering the snow to be.
Sure. Yeah. Well, now I'm going to go out and drive around, but don't tell anyone.
I won't tell anybody. And by the way, it's looking all right. I mean, I wouldn't, listen, don't drive this morning if you don't have to, or unless you're Colin. But it's going to be okay. And it's definitely going to be okay later. So
I have to get to the office because Grace is there by herself. I mean, she can handle it, but I still have to get to the office.
She sure can.
Absolutely.
But I might stop somewhere and get us a little snow date treat so that we're.
There you go. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all of the Chamber champions who have been scrolling at the bottom of the screen the entire time. And a big thank you to the two sponsors of this show for 321, which are also great members of the Chamber, Lathrop Insurance and Wireless Zone at 224 Post Road. So thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is, right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
Touchdown, Westerly! A chance for the Chargers, and they score!
In the front, Luzzy again!